Hi, I'm Pav.
And I'm Neil.
And welcome to the Top 10 of Anything podcast.
Let's start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether he's a scruffy-looking nerf herder, the man with the hat, or the president of the United States, Harrison Ford is one of the biggest movie stars of all time. So laugh it up, fuzzball. Prepare to meet Kali in hell as our fact hunter Neil gives us 10 fast facts about Harrison Ford.
Before becoming an actor, Ford was a carpenter. He still practices his trade to this day, more so now as a hobby. Ford almost appeared in Jurassic Park. He turned down the role of Dr. Alan Grant. That role subsequently went to Sam Neill. Ford has been the star in 4 out of 10 of the biggest blockbusters ever produced. Harrison Ford holds the rank of Life Scout in the Boy Scouts of America. Kevin Costner was originally set to appear in Air Force One. Ford replaced him. There is a species of ant named after Ford in recognition of the conservation work he has carried out over the many years. By the 1990s, Harrison Ford was earning $20+ million a film and 15% of the box office. Ford used to go by the name Harrison J. Ford. In order to not be confused with the silent screen actor, he dropped the J when the actor died. Ford wasn't the original choice for Indiana Jones. That was Tom Selleck, who couldn't do it due to being contracted to do the TV series Magnum P.I. Early on in his career, a film executive told Harrison Ford he would never make it in the film business.
And that's the top 10 facts, Neil?
That is
Thank you.
The top 10 facts.
Right, let's introduce our guest. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way live from San Antonio, Texas, is Scout of Flows for You. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. And a little baby as well. And what's the little baby's name?
Her name's Peyton.
Ah, hello, Peyton.
Aww.
Having a lovely bottle of milk there. Look at that. I mean, that looks, she's like living in heaven. Oh, beautiful. How are you doing, sir? How's everything going with you?
Man, I'm good. I just finished going to the movies. They have this thing here during like at 12 o'clock on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. They got like $1 movie. So we went and watched Sonic the Hedgehog. Me and the 4-year-old and the baby. She did good though. She didn't cry. She just slapped in my face and kicked me most of the time.
Is that because she didn't like the movie? Or?
No, that's her normal life. The amount of movies that she watches with me, I mean, I can go through. Here's an example. I watched 3 Harrison Ford movies in the last day. So
Wow.
So I mean, I have the time. It's either I'm feeding her or I'm doing something else, but I'll just have something on as I'm working. So, but yeah, we watch way too many movies. So
what was your review of Sonic the Hedgehog then?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was funny. I'm glad they switched him up because he was scary before they changed the CGI. But I thought again, a lot of these, everybody was favorable to this one. We just watched Space Jam 2. But I think people always are like, yo, this isn't awesome. And I'm like, it's for kids, dude. Just move on. Like, who cares? Sonic does silly kid things and it's funny. My son, like the entire half of the movie, just started running like Sonic and then falling on the ground. And then one of the kids beside me was like, is he gonna watch the movie? And I go, that's how he watches all movies. Like, and the mom just laughed like yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I've noticed from when I've been to America and gone and seen a film in America is that American audiences are a lot different to British audiences. American audiences are a lot less reserved when it comes to reacting to movies. Is that the same for like kids' movies like Sonic? Do the kids go wild all the time?
Not all the time. I mean, again, my kid is like me, so he's different.
Right.
My kid will be like, yo, what? Sonic, don't run, Sonic. And then all the moms and dads and by beside me are like, yo, bro, stop him. And I'm like, yeah, this is gonna happen the entire hour and a half, guys. Hey, you can't have the microphone, baby. And so yeah, no, no, and the thing is, his dad, I am also a very loud movie watcher. So like I don't watch, so one of the movies didn't make it on the list because I don't do scary movies.
Right.
And so because I emotionally get involved with the characters, and so I'll just like yell at them. They're like, no. And I mean, for like 5 years in a row, one of my best friends, that's what he would do for my birthday. He'd take me out to dinner and take me to a scary movie just for his entertainment, not because I wanted to watch it.
Right.
Because he loved the idea of just watching me freak out for 2 hours. So, but yeah, no, I assume I generally are more or louder than most people, but in general, yeah, that's a normal thing. Like that's why I go to the movies, is for everybody to react. It's so much better than sitting at your house, you know. I want to hear everybody freak out and laugh, and I'm usually the guy that makes you laugh because I laugh at everything. So I try to find everything funny as possible. So
it's the one thing when you go and see a good movie in England, definitely, and you want a reaction from the crowd, and you're sort of, it's the same as if you go to a live music gig and nobody's standing up. You want to be, you don't want to be the first person to stand up, you don't want to be the first person to react, but you just you want to cry, and Englanders are so reserved, it's crazy.
So funny.
Too reserved.
That's funny. Yeah. You would then want to come to the movies with me because you'd be like, yes, I want to, because you wouldn't feel bad about it because you're right beside me acting like a fool. So you'd be like, well, I'm already here with him, might as well enjoy myself.
Exactly. I watched the reaction videos of like Avengers Endgame, and you hear how the crowd are just going crazy, and it's one of those kind of experiences you really wish you could have, Yeah.
Well, I can't believe that's not a thing. Like, that makes me sad inside that you're not able to enjoy it like I enjoy it. But I mean, here's the truth. Right now, we're dealing with the same thing because nobody's at the movies.
No, that's true. That is true. The only one I've been to that had a reaction was A Quiet Place, because the reaction was to be quiet. And so Britons, they loved that because they didn't have to do anything, but they could just react to the movie the way you needed to for the movie.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
How is it nowadays with the American audiences and the cell phones?
During on the phone, or
as in when a movie, do they start texting and Facebook flicking?
So the kids movies are totally different than the regular going to the theater. Kids movies, I expect all moms and me are on their phones playing because they care less about this movie, and because now almost every theater in America has recliners, so you got your little lazy boy in each one, so it doesn't feel, and everybody has a barrier, at least the one we go to, so it's like I'm not bothering anybody with my phone. But my favorite movie theater to go to in Texas, in America, is Alamo Drafthouse. Have you heard of this place?
Yeah.
And so they are super strict about cell phone use, and I love that. Like they'll kick you out if your phone's even on, and you're looking at it. So it's like you get one warning and then you're out. So I always dislike that. If I paid $10 to go to something, I definitely want to be paying attention. But yeah, for a while there it was rough, but then now it's kind of not an issue. But I just go to theaters that enforce the rules, so I don't have to worry about it.
No, that's fair enough. Any place I can get a calzone, I'm all about. So and refillable drinks. That's what I'm talking about. And then that's heaven. That's heaven, isn't it? Yeah. It doesn't matter what movie's playing, you just go for that.
It's 100% true.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit about flows for you a little bit later on, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Let's get on with our top 10. So, talking personally, for me, Harrison Ford is probably the most important actor of my generation, of my lifetime, I think. I've never said he's a great actor, but he's a great movie star. That's the way I look at Harrison Ford. How do you guys? Skype, what about you?
Yeah, no, I think of him, like, if we're gonna compare him to somebody to this day, it'd be The Rock, right? Somebody that's like, that is just there. You're seeing them. You don't care if they do anything different than they normally do because you love what they do. And I think he does that so well. And there are some movies where he shows range, but in general, I don't go to see Harrison Ford movies for his range. I go for that handsome gaze and his awesome gruff. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
And as long as he has that in his movies, I'm a happy camper.
Yeah. What about you, Neil?
Well, he reminds me of the golden age of cinema. You know, it's sort of like your Humphrey Bogart. He's a great movie star, like you said, with the gruff. You know, the looks. He still looks good now, doesn't he? What is he creeping up to 80 while he's filming the new Indiana Jones? And he's just probably one of the last great movie stars. What you define as a movie star. I think there's not many. You know, you say The Rock. But I don't know whether he's going to go down as an all-time great.
The Rock's not getting an Oscar nomination. I'm just saying in general, if we're going to compare him to a thing that we focus on today. But you're right. Like a Marlon Brando situation. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Just one of these, you know, like Clark Gable. The sort of, you know, when you see him, you think there's a movie star.
Tom Hanks.
I think he'd be up there as well.
Yeah.
I think it's the last generation of those type, to be honest. I don't think a movie star is going to be around much longer because social media is ruined.
You don't think Tatum isn't going to be the new guy?
I don't know. I think he might be filling petrol cars. No. But no, there's nobody. Social media ruins that. You know, we were all from the day where you had to search heavily. You read the magazines to find out about movies coming. You know, we didn't have it all in your face 24/7 like we do now with social media. And I think that's taken away your movie star quality a little bit.
Unless you are someone like The Rock who embraces that. And they own their Instagram and their Twitter and that, don't they? And
I mean, he is a movie star, but he's not what I call. He was never going to be an iconic movie star to me.
I don't know. I think you wait and see. I think he'll be the guy that will take over from like your Will Smiths and people like that. I think without a doubt.
Mind you, I don't even put Will Smith in that bracket, to be honest.
Well, not anymore. Not anymore. But he definitely was. Like
he was a huge celebrity. But do you know what I mean? Like a movie idol rather than a movie star. That's what I think is gone. And
also, in your top 10 rundown that you did of the facts, Sky, you shook your head on one of them. Can you remember what you were shaking your head for? Did he get something wrong?
No. I agree. I was just like, I agreed with it. I was just like, oh man,
right.
Like that totally makes sense. It's not the woodworker one. That one's dope. And when we go to the top 10, that's cool. But I forget what it was. He was talking about.
It's like the second from last one, I think it was, Neil. What was the second from last or the third from last one?
The Ford wasn't the original choice for Indiana Jones. We did that one.
No, it was another one.
Ford used to go by the name Harrison J. Ford.
Oh yeah, that was it. Because he waited for him to die. It was
that's it.
You're dead. I'm taking my name.
That's it. He waited until he died and then dropped the J.
No one's going to get confused unless your ghost starts starring in films.
Exactly. And the one thing with Harrison Ford is like any actor would dream to get one iconic role, as we're probably going to get with our top 10s. I think Harrison Ford's probably had at least 3 iconic
easily,
roles. So, right, let's kick off with our number 10s. So, Skype, what's your number 10 favorite Harrison Ford film?
Yeah, so I wanted to give myself a preference. This is not like his best acted movie, but I love this movie and nobody watches it. So I'm going to make it my number 10, which is Ender's Game.
Right.
It's a good movie. You should watch it. The books are awesome, but he's not really that much in it. But in the general, people should have watched that movie more. So I enjoyed it. But Ender's Game is my number 10.
Do you think?
I enjoyed that movie.
I was going to say, do you think that got sort of swallowed up in the whole Twilight, Harry Potter, sort of YA sort of
movies? Exactly what happened. Everybody was like, I'm done with these kind of movies. I don't want to, again, and I don't think they understood what it was. I mean, if the movie would have came out when the books were first doing their thing, it probably would have worked better. But it had been a while and, people just weren't as into them as they are. But, it's an awesome movie. And
Okay. Neil, what did you go for number 10?
Excuse me. I struggled actually here. I didn't know what to put at number 10, but I finally went for Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
At number 10, whereas I think it's still a great Star Wars movie, but it's probably the weakest performance from Ford. He looked like he wanted to give up.
Well, the rumor was that he wanted Han Solo to die in Empire, didn't he? So he didn't really want to come back for the third one. But
and obviously you can see that, but he still gives some great sort of comedic performance in it, and it still does a good job. You can tell he doesn't want to be there, but he still does a great job in it. And yeah, I still got a soft spot for that movie.
Okay, right. I've gone for one that I'm not sure whether it got panned when it came out, but 6 Days, 7 Nights. There's a big. We've had our first disagreement of the podcast right on my number 10. Okay, now I will grant you it's not a great movie, but I do think that Harrison Ford is. I just think there's something about his performance in that, especially the way that he
comedic performance.
Yeah, and he the way he cooks that peacock, he makes it look really, really tasty. I must admit, finger licking good. Right, I'm gonna have to ask Scout, why did you shake your head that it almost came off your shoulders?
Well, that movie, the only publicity was from Anne Heche, because she was married or dating Ellen at the time, and that's all you heard. And I watched the movie. I think I watched it in the dollar film, and I was just like, yeah, I'm ready to go take a nap. This is
really
not my favorite. When I see it on there and I'm like, do I want to watch this? And I'm like, no, I'm probably good. Yeah.
I will admit the last time I watched this was right in the middle of lockdown, and I was like really thinking, and it was on TV, and I watched. So I don't know whether or not my mental state was at a place that I was accepting that it was a good movie because it was lockdown and that my brain was just switched to lockdown. I don't know. Neil, what do you think of that movie then?
I'm with Scout. It's boring. It's it was Ford trying to be comedic. It was, I don't know, it was trying to be again the Humphrey Bogart sort of era sort of movie brought forward, but the chemistry between the two was null and void. There was no chemistry between them.
I will give you that. Yeah, I will give you that. There wasn't.
And that sort of film, you need that chemistry straight away, and there wasn't in there. I think whether it was Ford or whether it was Anne Heche, who knows? But
yeah,
the director must be spanked for that. Who did direct that, as a matter of fact?
I don't know. I could find out for you, but after you giving me that sort of coat down for it anyway, I don't know. I'm because I will tell you now that I haven't got Return of the Jedi or Temple of Doom in my top 10, and now I'm feeling that I've put 6 Days, 7 Nights in. I feel like I can't call myself a Harrison Ford fan if I've done that. But anyway, I'm going to stick to my guns.
Hey, you stick to your principles.
I will.
Sir.
Okay, Skate, what's your number 9?
All right. Well, again, same premises before. Movies that I like of his that, but this one is a good example of what you were talking about earlier. Is Call of the Wild.
Okay.
It just came out. He's like an old prospector, but he looks so great for 80 years old in this movie. It's like, wow. And it's just, here's the truth. It's not anything to do with his acting. That's just a cool movie. The dog, hilariously, terribly created, but still doesn't matter. You get to see a dog and you get to assume this is how a dog lives its life. And I thought it was really cool. But again, it is a good example of how well that man is aged. That is a handsome gentleman. So
I still haven't watched that one yet. It's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
I haven't seen it because it's got a CGI dog, isn't it? The dog is CGI.
The whole movie, the dog gets all the scenes. So he's probably in about 20 minutes of the movie.
Oh, right.
30. But the rest of it's the dog, and it's an all CGI dog, but it's on HBO. So I don't know where it is for y'all. Actually, it might be on
Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus. Yeah.
That makes sense. So
yeah. But, okay, I might give that one a go then.
I literally just watched it yesterday.
Right. Okay. Oh, that was one of the 3 Harrison Ford films that you watched. Neil, what's your number 9?
Mine is Force Awakens.
Okay.
The return of Han Solo. Not the greatest performance because he's in his gruff and retired years, but it's still iconic. And the death scene, I think, it brings a tear to your glass eye, doesn't it? So.
It does. It does. It makes a mockery of my number 10 with the fact that I haven't got Force Awakens in my top 10 because I absolutely love that movie. But it sort of ruined the original trilogy for me a little bit because, especially in New Hope, you see this young, virile, cocky sort of, smuggler in A New Hope, and then you realize what's going to happen to him 30 years down the line, and it's heartbreaking. It really is. But I think he's great. My number 9 is Mosquito Coast.
Okay.
It was a real one that sort of took him out of his comfort zone, I think, is from his blockbusters of Indiana Jones and Han Solo, to play this scatty
was he a teacher, wasn't he?
No, he was when you make things, not an impersonator. I don't know why I'm thinking
Inventor.
of the word. Inventor, that's right.
Yeah.
And he goes off to the jungle and tries to create a utopia for his family, and it all goes wrong.
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix, yeah. Helen Mirren.
Oh,
It's a I haven't seen it for a while, but it's a fantastic film.
It's a great movie. I'd actually forgotten about that movie.
Yeah. So that's my number 9. So Skype, what's your number 8?
Well, number 8 is Working Girl, which is talking about chemistry. Him and I forget her name now, Melanie Griffin.
Melanie Griffiths, yeah.
That their chemistry is awesome in that movie, and it's a cool movie. It's fun to see Sigourney Weaver as a bad guy, and it's just a fun movie. It's definitely inappropriate to today, but it's a good movie.
It is a real slice of 80s. It's 80s in 90 minutes. It just I've got that one in my top 10. I won't say where it is, but I'm with you on that. Neil, what's your thoughts for Working Girl?
I had 2 on at number 8 because I really couldn't decide, but I'm going to take the other one. It was originally Working Girl, the same as you, Scout, but because you've had it, I'll put what I had on there before, Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Just another indie. I don't think it's his greatest indie performance by any stretch. It's probably, well, let's say the one indie film I haven't even put anywhere near the list because I don't believe it ever exists is Indy 4.
Well, that still was awesome.
Really?
That's my number 1.
I know.
Oh, dear me.
But Shia LaBeouf, let's go.
Yeah.
They were going to do all these spin-offs, weren't they? Oh, dear. Anyway, but I'll go Temple of Doom. I think he's great in that. His chemistry with Kate Capshaw, by the way. There you go. There's your old 1930s, 40s romantic lead. I think those two together were actually really strong. Really strong.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Right. My number 8 is The Fugitive.
Great movie.
Yeah, I think it's I knew about the TV show, but I'd never seen the TV show. So I sort of knew roughly what the movie was going to be about. But I thought that it was just one of those great edge of the seat stuff. And Tommy Lee Jones, he just doesn't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about anything apart from catching that person. That's all he cares about. He doesn't care why, what, how, who, whether he's innocent or guilty. He's just got the blinkered, and that is what he's got to do. So yeah, a great cast as well in that. It's not just
I think Tommy Lee Jones is the standout, isn't he? I mean, he won the Oscar for it anyway, didn't he?
He did.
But he was really good in that movie.
He did.
Was that Philip Noyce, wasn't it, did that film? Was it Philip Noyce?
It could be. I could look if you want me to. Well, Sky, if you want to tell us what your number 7 is, and I'll have a look.
All right, my number 7 is again another movie I just watched, but it is his Oscar nomination, which is Witness. That movie, again, if you're not in the mood to just sit and watch a guy emotionally brood, then it's not the movie for you. But if you're all about that brooding life, then this is the movie for you. It's his facial reactions, like they just spent hours on his facial reactions in this movie. But I thought it was cool. It was fun to see Danny Glover as a bad guy. And sorry, spoiler alert. And it was a good movie. It definitely had it definitely was nice and suspenseful. You weren't sure what's going to happen. You really enjoyed the chemistry between him and the mom. It was nice. There's a lot of awkwardness in that movie too, but at the same time, it was I see why he got a nomination for this. It's a pretty good acting job on his end, and not a terrible 80s movie. It definitely has the music and the hairdos and all that stuff, but that's what happens. So, yeah.
And it's a slow movie as well, isn't it? In places it can. I mean, I've got it in my top 10 a little bit later, but I can always remember seeing that clip where he's with the Amish in the town, and some guys are taking the mickey out of him, and so he just smacks the shit out of one of them, breaks his nose, and they thought, that's the Harrison Ford we want to see. We don't want to see more broody and looking at Kelly McGillis with no clothes on, although, I mean, that's fine. We can do that if we want to. But seeing him like breaking noses like Indiana Jones, that's what we want to see. And he always wears a hat really well as well, Harrison Ford, doesn't he? He's got that straw hat. He's got the perfect head for a hat, if that makes sense.
I agree. What was it? Well, I was also thinking, this is also the point where he was like, hey, guys, by the way, I'm a carpenter. You need to make sure that...
Exactly.
Please put that. Let's have a whole scene of just us building. Like, it's funny because do we really need 5 minutes of him building a barn? Like, it's not like it's like in real life. Why would you let the guy that you don't even know do all the main parts of the thing? But then in the movie, it makes sense. He's showing off his skills.
Exactly.
He's like drilling stuff and hammering stuff. Like, they spent a lot of time on that barn raising scene. That dude was, he was all in for that scene. So, yeah, it was like a busman's holiday, wasn't it? He was loving the fact that he had one of those pouches around him. He had a big mallet in his hand, and he's just smacking the shit out of wood. That's just what he wants to do. I mean, that was his days off. You can see it on his face. He's like, "This is great."
Yeah.
And the coworker, the dude that likes the girl, he's just looking at him, and it has nothing to do with his character. He's just like, man, this guy is loving this.
Yes. That was Alexander Goodenough, wasn't it? I think he was in Die Hard.
He was, yeah.
That was the guy from Die Hard, yeah. Right, okay, Neil, you're number 7.
Apocalypse Now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know he's not in it very long, but he goes against type actually here. He's not the gruff voice, of reason. He's quite a timid character in this one, really.
But he's not in it for long at all, though, is he?
No, he's not. But it's a great performance. Actually, you forget it's Harrison Ford that's doing it. I think it's a wonderful performance, even though it is only 10, 15 minutes long. Yeah. And what a movie! I mean,
it's a great movie. Yeah, it's a classic movie.
That movie's too much emotionally for me. By the time they're screaming at the dude, I'm already done, and I've gone to the bathroom. Like, it's not because it's boring, but because it's just too much. Like, I'm imagining I'm getting screamed at by the drill instructor. Nope, no, can't do it.
Yeah.
Well, I've gone for Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I think his talk about chemistry with Sean Connery is fantastic, and for everything they got right in that movie, I can't understand how they dropped the ball so much in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, because they brought people back together in Last Crusade. Salah was back, and Brody was back, and it's just a fantastic. There's a really good MacGuffin there of the Holy Grail. It's a great movie. So that's my number 7.
He dropped a ball with the Crystal Skull, letting George Lucas write it first. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I also think that Steven Spielberg just had enough of George Lucas saying, "Well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that," and Steven Spielberg let's just do it. I'll just point the camera and say action and cut, and you just do what you want to do, George. Right, number 6, Sky. What are you going for?
So I'm gonna go with again, what I did here is anytime he was in multiple movies, I just put them all together. So
okay,
so that's why they're not gonna see a lot of Indiana Jones and Star Wars, because this is too many movies for me. It would just been the whole list of that.
Yeah.
So but Patriot Games, I liked when he was playing Jack Ryan. I thought he was good. Again, this is when I was like right out of high school, so I enjoyed it very much. It was good stuff. Or I was in high school, I don't remember, but it was in high school, maybe junior high, I don't even know anymore, but Patriots Games was a good movie. I love the thriller aspect of it. I liked him. Again, I think him is just a regular dude that's kind of awesome, is his thing. So not like no superpowers, always just like handsome. I'm going to figure it out no matter what. I think that Jack Ryan was a perfect character for him, and I thought this movie and all the others were very well done, so I like them.
Yeah. Has there ever been another character apart from, say, James Bond, where so many actors have played that same character? Because you've had Alec Baldwin.
Holmes.
Yeah, I suppose Sherlock Holmes. Thanks for pissing all over my question
Dracula.
there. All right, thank you very much, Neil. All right, yeah, all right.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah.
How can I forget Jesus? Oh my Lord. Oh, that's probably one of the worst questions I've ever asked. Then straight away, so many people got so many answers. Okay, right. Number 6 for you, then, Neil.
Witness. We've
Okay.
covered it pretty much everywhere. I was just going to say I love the scene where he plays Sam Cooke, Wonderful World, and he teaches her to dance. I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful moment in any sort of film history. Lovely,
Yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
As he destroys her faith. Good job. Good job, Neil.
Yeah, but bring them out. Bring them out.
He just takes a hammer to her glass ceiling. Just
Yeah.
you see the mortification on the dad, on the uncle, whatever his face. Like,
Yeah.
What you didn't see is he also encouraged all the other Amish people to grow the moustache bit of the beards and ruined it all for everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah. I've also gone for Witness at number 6 as well. I think it's got one of the most tense endings as well, where especially when he's trying to find that gun in the whatever it is, the
Corn
barn thing, whatever it was, with all the corn. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, it's Jesus has thrown me off a whack. I wasn't expecting that. I'm just now trying to think of all the actors that played Jesus. Willem Dafoe, obviously, is one. And Neil, Andrew Davis did The Fugitive.
Andrew Davis. Okay,
Andrew Davis.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Okay, number 5 then, Skype. What's your 5th one?
This movie's awesome. Blade Runner for sure.
Ooh, okay.
Such a really good. I love the Norway aspect of it. I love the darkness of it. I've seen every cut of this movie. It's the director's cut, the ultimate cut, the final cut, the cut of just the girls. All the cuts.
The Jesus cut.
As a matter of interest, Scout, what's your favorite cut?
I mean, the director's cut is easily the best one. Or I think it's called the ultimate director's cut. I forget.
Yeah.
But I like again, those characters are so well defined, and I love Mia Noré situation. Like, those little detective kind of films are cool. This movie is cool because even though it it's older, it doesn't feel older.
No, definitely
it's held up amazingly
because of the way it looks. I mean, again, here we go with I was about to say Sigourney Weaver was in this. She is not. I don't know. My brain was thinking. But it's funny. I love that movie. It's just I don't think of people. I know everybody loves that movie, but it's like people just don't know how cool that movie is. And again, I love. One of my favorite video games is like Shadowrun, which is this same world. And so I love that whole tech savvy bad things going on situation. But this movie's dope. He's a great detective. Said you have him in your pictures back there. But yeah, I like that movie. So.
And the thing is, you can't call it a futuristic movie now because we've gone past 2019 when it was set, which makes you feel really old. Because I can remember watching the movie thinking, wow, 2019, I wonder if we will have floating cars and things like that. And, well, we haven't. Come on, Elon Musk, get your finger at your ass. We need floating cars. He's too busy getting himself to space, isn't he?
Yeah, this space race.
I don't know. Right, Neil, what's your number 5?
Last Crusade. I think one of his greatest performances, nearly up there. And like you said, the chemistry with him and his dad, Sean Connery, it's just so good. And there's only 8 years between them, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say that, yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, what a great movie, isn't it? It's got everything. It was the last of some of the last of the great original action where they do most of their own stunts. I mean, I know Tom's bringing it back with the Mission Impossibles, but yeah, that was brilliant. That whole bit when the tank goes over the edge of the cliff. You're all looking. I think.
Yeah.
Humor with movement. There you go.
That's what it is. Right, I've not done what Scout has done. I did split the Indiana Jones and Star Wars movies. I've gone for Empire Strikes Back at number 5. One of my favorite films of all time. I just think the whole "I love you, I know," all of that kind of stuff is just classic Harrison Ford. So Yeah, that's my number 5 for that one. Number 4, then, Skype. What are you going for?
Well, see, I'm going with The Fugitive here. There are many reasons why. This was like peak movie loving. He's running away, the man with the no leg, all that stuff. It was dope. Tommy Lee Jones is awesome in this movie, to the point that he got his own sequel. So
that's right.
That's pretty crazy. But then it's like, oh yeah, and then another reason to do this is because I have a great story. Is living in San Antonio means that Tommy Lee Jones is here, and I've actually gone to a movie with Tommy Lee Jones. Now, I didn't go with him. Like, I was there, he was there. We left the movie and it was done. But it's he definitely he's one of those guys who's like, you don't want to talk to him. Just let him enjoy his time, because I've seen him, like, politely tell people, but it's like he just wanted to go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of age range, I was thinking about him and Tommy Lee Jones and Men in Black, where he, the younger version of him, is only like a year older than him, right? Is Thanos, whatever his name is,
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, they're like the same age, and so it's like just funny how.
Wow. So do you ever see Tommy Lee Jones out buying milk and stuff like that, or?
I've only seen him at the theater. So
right, okay.
Yeah, he lives right close to a really fancy. It used to be a rock quarry, and then it's a movie theater. So it's pretty cool. And
wow.
He lives in that fancy area. So I used to go to the movies there all the time, and so I've seen him there once. So but no, I've never seen him anywhere else. Again, I don't live in that fancy area, I'm on the not as fancy area. So.
Right. Because the one thing I listen to Joe Rogan a lot, and he obviously has moved to Texas, and a lot of people from like California and that have chosen places like Texas to move now. Has it affected like someone like yourself that has lived there in any way or not?
I mean, honestly, it's helped me because they are willing to pay crazy money for silly things, and I do silly things.
Oh, right.
So for me, it's great. They're like, oh, $500 for my kid's birthday? That's cheap, man. You're a bargain.
Yeah.
And so no, that's been great. But in San Antonio, there isn't a lot of people moving. It's Austin that a lot of people moved, and you definitely see it. I mean, the laws are very California thinking and things like that. And so it's definitely changed. And it's very expensive to live in Austin, which is where I'm from. So I was just down there a few weeks ago, and it's just a different place. They have for the longest time they had you could camp in public places. So all the homeless would have their own city in between the mediums of the street. So
wow.
like the highway, and then just a full camp out, and then another highway, and it was like, okay, but they just got rid of that just like last week or something. So they're kind of, because they realized how bad it was, because it was like you go to a business and there could be a dude sleeping on the sidewalk in his tent, and you're like, but dude, I need to go do this thing, like for South by Southwest, which is a big music festival in Austin. It was very interesting, because you have all these people that spent way too much money to go to this festival, and then all these other people that just live there. And it's I'm not saying that they have anything to do with how that is, but the laws have definitely changed because of it. And but again, we're not going to go all into that. But in general, I am all about it. You spend more money, make my life better, I'm fine. It's different. So
yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, then Neil, you're number 4.
A New Hope, Star Wars, the introduction of Harrison Ford to me, really. It's definitely the first thing I ever watched him in. We all wanted to be Han Solo. His cocky charm in it is wonderful. What's not to love, eh?
No, I would agree with that. My number 4 is Working Girl. I absolutely, the soundtrack to it is fantastic. It was Carly Simon did a lot of the music for it. Let the River Run, or Let the River Flow was the song. I think won an Oscar. Yeah. And I think Harrison Ford is just as cool as hell in that movie. Yes. Melanie Griffith hoovering or vacuuming with her top off. Yeah. I mean, what's not to like about that? Joan Cusack with the big 80s hair. It's just fantastic. And Alec Baldwin again.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in that. Yeah.
Looking crazy handsome in that one.
Yeah.
With his shirt off all the time.
That's right. Right. And Kevin Spacey in there as well.
Looking just like Kevin Spacey, I imagine he is.
Yes. Yes, he plays a sleaze in the back of a limo. Yeah, so playing to type there. Okay, right. So we're getting to the nitty gritty now. Number 3, then, Skype.
Okay, so easily one of my favorite bad guy performances ever. Not with him in it, but who was in it with him, which is Air Force One.
Okay.
Gary Oldman is the best. If he's playing a bad guy in a movie, I want to watch the movie. Doesn't matter what it is. The best bad guy he ever was definitely Fifth Element. I mean, come on. I
don't know, maybe Leon or what was The Professional now.
Nope, don't care. No, it's Fifth Element. I mean, come on, that crazy accent.
That is so
crazy
over the
hair.
top. So over the top.
You're probably right. It's probably a better acted, but just in my brain, Fifth Element, because the funny part of it is you don't know that's Gary Oldman. You know what I'm saying? Like you watch another movie and you're like, wait, that what?
Yeah,
that was Sirius Black. I'm just playing. Sorry.
Yeah.
I like to pull out all those iconic roles.
Yeah, and of course he's one that's played Dracula as well.
There you go.
But the one thing about I know we're talking about Harrison Ford, but the one thing about Gary Oldman is he's not afraid to chew up the scenery. He'll go as over the top as is needed. Even in Leon, the Professional, he goes over the top in some scenes. And I think that's what is great. And that's what the good thing about a bad guy is that you make him as colorful and as over the top as possible. Ridiculous accent, boom. Away you go. So that I say that. I haven't got Air Force One in my top 10, but
it's okay. Air Force One though is an awesome movie. Again, I'm biased because he's playing the American president. So it's understandable. You're like, well, he's not playing a prime minister. Who cares?
I wish he was our prime minister. I really would. Oh my! I wouldn't care what he decided to do if it was Harrison Ford was our prime minister. Much better than Boris, that's for sure. Get off my plane. That's what he says, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Rather than
that's how Boris would do it. Neil, number 3.
Blade Runner, Deckard. What a performance. We've already spoke about it. I don't even mind watching the original cut with the voiceover on it, I went back and watched it recently. I know it's shite, but it's the way I first ever saw that, as we all did probably, saw that movie. I
do feel that once you've watched the version without it's hard to go back to watch that
it
one.
is, but I rewatched it because that wonderful collection that they did of it. What a perfect movie, isn't it?
It's a great movie.
The director's cut, like you said, the ultimate director's cut is just the perfect movie, nearly.
It's so great that I had that as my number 3 as well. So I think we've said all we need to say for that.
And it was nice that they went back. I didn't put it in my top 10 because Harrison Ford wasn't really he was there, but he wasn't the principal, is he, in the sequel?
What, in 2049? Huh?
Yeah. He's good at what he does.
But it's great to see him. It's great to see him just reprise these roles. I think it fills out the character more.
Absolutely.
Right then, Skype. Number 2.
All right. Well, it's Indiana Jones, of course. And here's the truth. Y'all have them low, but Last Crusade is really my favorite Indiana Jones, mainly because of Sean Connery. I just love the, my dad was never around. He's there, but he was never around. And I just imagine that my dad was Sean Connery in this situation. And so I think that's probably, if there was a dad movie in like the 90s to 2000s, I was all about it. That's something I wanted. And, I get what you get. And so, Last Crusade's awesome. I love when they do the little flashbacks of young Indy. I like, this is probably my introduction to, like, I probably had to go back and watch the other ones.
Right.
And so at this point, that probably was my introduction. It was probably the second one I watched, but this one is probably one of my favorites. Again, and you got the thing where they drink out of the
Holy
thing.
Grail,
the Grail, yeah.
And it goes terribly wrong. And
yes.
and that's So I'm gonna go with all Indiana Jones's part as my number 2.
Okay, that's cool. Neil, what's your number 2?
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
It's where Han Solo suddenly gets his acting chops, and we see a different side to him. What's not to love? And it's to me the best Star Wars movie still. It's just got everything, hasn't it? It's got layers.
Layers. There's only
Yeah.
one layer. There's only Princess Leia. There's not loads of layers.
Ding,
Hey!
ding.
Thank you very much. I've gone Star Wars: A New Hope for number 2. It's iconic. I think we've said all I think we can say about Star Wars. Right. So, Skype, if you want to just give us your rundown from 10 to 2.
Oh, we're gonna be in trouble here. Ender's Game, Call the Wild, Working Girl, Witness, Patriot Games, Blade Runner, The Fugitive, Air Force One, and Indiana Jones movies.
Okay, and Neil, your 10 to 2.
So 10, Return of the Jedi. 9, Force Awakens. Number 8, Temple of Doom. Number 7, Apocalypse Now. Number 6, Witness. Number 5, Last Crusade. Number 4, New Hope. Number 3, Blade Runner. And number 2, Empire.
Okay, and I've gone number 10, 6 Days, 7 Nights. Hooray! Number 9, Mosquito Coast. Number 8, The Fugitive. 7, Last Crusade. 6, Witness. 5, Empire Strikes Back. 4, Working Girl. 3, Blade Runner. And 2, A New Hope. Now, what we did do for the first episode was the two of us would guess what everyone's number 1 is, but I think they're pretty self-explanatory. I think, Skype, yours is your number 1.
My number 1. Oh, I can't think of anything funny right now. Dang it! So close. It's dang. I can't even think of it. No, don't have it in my. Oh yeah, that Anchorman 2 is one of them. See, I'm trying to get there now. Quickly, go.
Expendables 3.
No, though him in the thing with him in the picture. The actual photo of the Expendables 3 looks hilarious. Looks like they just copped it out of like cropped out. Anyways, it is Star Wars.
Yeah, of course it is.
I was trying to make a funny bit and I had nothing.
Could be Random Hearts or Cowboys and Aliens could have been.
No, it's even better than that. I just can't think of it. I'm gonna get there. The joke will be after everything. So
Okay. Right. So obviously, Neil, yours and ours is Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. The perfect action hero. That to me, the Raiders of the Lost Ark is pretty much. It is. It's a perfect movie.
It is a perfect movie.
There's nothing.
Is it?
Yeah,
I cannot.
Yeah.
What would you say would make it not a perfect movie?
He doesn't. He's not. He's not needed for the plot.
Yeah.
If you go down that conspiracy theory,
he's not needed for the plot.
But he's still there.
Yeah, he's great. But they could have just anybody. Anybody could have been there, and they still would have ended up the same way. They would have still ended up blowing themselves up. So it's like they didn't need him.
Yeah, you're right. 6 Days, 7 Nights is my number 1. I'm having that. I'm having that instead.
but if you go for his performance, it's a proper action hero, isn't it? You know, those wonderful. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along.
Yeah,
lines and the way he delivers them is just superb. And the fact of the stunt work in it that Vic Armstrong looks so much like him in the film.
Yeah,
it's just awesome, isn't it?
And the fact that any character that you can recognize just by a silhouette makes him special. And he comes into Marion's bar, and you just see a silhouette on the wall. It's just
think about the opening, the opening of it when he's with Alfred Molina in there. I thought he was a bit of a oh Christ, he's a mean bastard, isn't he?
But he is a mean bastard. He'll kill people. He don't give a shit. He don't give a shit if he's he's got the guy with the big sword that's being all, and obviously that was changed because they originally filmed a whip and a sword fight, but Harrison Ford got the shits and couldn't do it, so he just decided to shoot him. But one of the greatest moments in action movie history, I think. Yeah, just done by accident. So here we go. The punchline to the joke. Here we go, Skype. What is it?
Frisco Kid.
Hey!
Everybody's favorite Western about a rabbi
in
the world.
That's Skype's number 1 Harrison Ford movie, The Frisco Kid.
I mean, that was one of his best comedic performances.
Oh, I was thinking Sabrina. You remember he did Sabrina?
Oh, with Julia Ormond. Remember
that was, yes. Yeah. We had a couple of people that messaged in just to give us their honorable mentions. Barrett said Indiana Jones is Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. No one can take his place. They are my top 4 Harrison Ford movies for me.
Oh,
so
4?
Including Crystal Skull for some reason. So I'm assuming that Barrett typed that one because they wouldn't be allowed pointy things wherever he lives, I'm sure.
Let's swing with the monkeys.
Yes,
Let's swing with the monkeys.
Lisa said, has to be Air Force One at number 1 for me. Harrison Ford has never been better. So there you go. Right. The flows for you, Skype. You want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, what it is, it's a live stream podcast that we do. And we do it every single Thursday. And what we do is we have a guest on. Doesn't matter what they do, who they are, but we ask them, hey, what's the best thing? What's something we could do for a better year? Because since 2020 was the worst year ever. So we ask, hey, what can we do for a better year? And then we talk about that. We talk about their amazing things. And at the end of it, me and my co-host turn it into a rap song. He's a beatboxer and I'm a rapper. And so that's what we do. And it's a comedic podcast. We do a quiz where I always lose. We've done 85 episodes and I've never won a quiz. But yeah, so it's really fun. And then we've branched out to other things like Flows for You Party, which is a birthday party service that we do / festivals that I go to and perform at. But yeah, Flows for You pretty much is all encompasses hanging out with me for an hour and me rapping, which is how it is normally if you lived with me. It's my life.
Yeah.
My kids are just like, where's the rap, son? Where's the rap, Dad?
Do you find yourself like just talking to yourself during the day, but like rapping?
Sure. Yeah.
That's just how you do it.
Yeah.
Keep it in.
I always tell people, they're like, how do you get so good at this? Because it's all freestyle, right? It's all just making up stuff on the, and I'm like, because I rap every day for an hour, every single day. It's just something I do. I've done for, we're not going to say how old I am, but I'm very old. I've been rapping for so long. It's just kind of been one of those, I'm just good at it. But yeah, no, I rap in my head. I said, I always make a joke that, do you know what Chipotle is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that at Chipotle, there's a 50% chance that I will get a free burrito every time. Because I will ask the person how they're doing, and then I'll rap about what they're doing. And so I'll be rapping about their burrito, and then they just look at me. Because again, everybody can't see me, but if you see me, you don't look, oh, hey, that guy's a rapper. You go, oh, hey, that guy's a lumberjack. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what we'll do is we'll put a link to your podcast in our show notes, so people can. And so when you say it's live streamed, is it up on like YouTube or Twitch and stuff like that?
It's on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And we do that every 8 p.m. Central, so that's like 3 a.m. for y'all. And so I know because we've had my producer in Germany on the show, and he's been like half awake and he's holding his baby and just like, why are you even on the show, dude? And he's like, because I love you.
Oh, bless.
We like that.
And he had an album release, so he was just trying to get more people to pay attention to it.
All right.
But it's fun.
Thanks so much, Scout, for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to chat to you. Hopefully this won't be the last time. We'll have you on for the top 10 Mark Hamill movies or top 10 rappers. You'll have to tell us who a few of them are, because rap's not the sort of like top of my game. So I need to start doing a bit of research for that, definitely. But we will put the link to the podcast and everything on the show notes. So any listeners, if they want to check you out, then they can.
Of course.
Awesome. Neil, do you want to let everybody know how they can get in touch with us?
Of course. You can find us on all the social media at Top 10 Pods. That's TOPTEN Pods. You can email us too at top10pods@hotmail.com. That's all lowercase. Or come and help support the podcast at patreon.com/top10pods, where you can get rewards such as our episodes super early, bonus episodes, behind the scenes videos, and even a chance to be a guest on your own podcast.
Ooh.
Check out all of our links via Linktree. You can find the link in the show notes. And please do come and subscribe and leave us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, or subscribe and follow on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Wonderful. Thank you ever so much, Skype, once again. Please have a wonderful day. Go and look after your little baby again. Go and have some more milk.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you very much, Pao.
Thank you very much, everyone. And let's go start the countdown.